Alysia, are you from DC?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and have you always been from here?
Yes.
Oh my God, you're like the third person
Yeah.
that's actually from DC. that
I
I've talked
moved
to
away
today.
for 2 years to Chicago, and then
Hey, I
came
live in
back.
Chicago.
Oh, really cool. I went to Northwestern for a couple
Oh, nice.
years. Yeah.
Amazing. And what's got you out today?
Well, so the rash of school shootings. I'm trying to boil all my points together. I guess what really brings me here today is that even though with the rash of school shootings we've been talking more about gun violence, I think it's important to introduce into that narrative the racial lens as well. You know, gun violence has been a problem, especially in Black and other communities of color, for decades and decades, and nothing has ever been done. We've never had marches like this when gun violence happens within communities of color, when people of color commit crimes with guns. The way that we're reported on is so terribly different from the way that, you know, the sympathetic way that I see a lot of non-people of color reported on. So, you know, on the one hand, it makes me feel very happy and hopeful and supported that there are so many people who have turned out here today. But I also just want to remind people that, you know, this is not something new. This is not a new phenomenon. Just because it's finally moved into the suburbs and away from the inner cities, it doesn't make it more important now or more dire now than it was before. It's always been dire. It's just the victims look different. And, you know, it's also the narrative surrounding, you know, mental illness and bullying. You know, I think it's BS, to be honest. You know, if we're bullying and if it were, you know, about othering, then we'd be looking at LGBTQ plus people, we'd be looking at people of color, we'd be looking at Black women who have ridiculously high rates of untreated mental illness. So it's not that, you know, it's something about entitlement, it's something about privilege, it's something about that makes one feel that slights that people of color or other marginalized communities have come to get used to. I guess maybe feel more dire. Yeah, you know, like maybe it feels more dire now that, you know, other groups are feeling it. But, you know, I just think it's really important to remember that people of color have been fighting this fight for a long time. You know, Black voices have been screaming Black Lives Matter, and the turnouts were never like this. You know, our student leaders were being criticized for, you know, organizing marches. We were seen as a riot and not a peaceful march. So, you know, I think it's important to recognize that we've come together in solidarity, but then to also realize that this is not a colorless issue, and that in order to truly diagnose the problem, we need to look at it through a racial lens as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, absolutely.
You know, off the record, not on camera.